Well, this is fantastic. Welcome everyone, whether you're watching us on Twitch or YouTube. Sorry for the slight delay there. Paradox Launcher and Golf crashed at the same time, took Discord and my graphics drivers with it. So there may be some unintended consequences here as we set ourselves up for Victoria 3 game. If you're watching on Twitch, thank you for hanging out. If you're watching on YouTube, welcome. Lovely to have you here. I have no additional controls now because it is just without doing a whole restart, and I'm not doing that because I don't want to cut into our Victoria 3 game. So without further ado, I'll get Victoria 3 up and running. It's just going to take just a few moments, and all the details we post in Discord, discord.gg/Imaflanker over in the community service channel. So let's host the game. Let's do that. Okay. And finally back in Discord. Hello. What is everyone else doing at the moment? Because I've just spent my time building railway and buildings, and I really am struggling a bit to not be bored.
Honestly, there's not much else to do.
I mean, when you're a smaller nation, yeah.
Yeah, when you're a smaller nation, there's not a great deal to do. Belgium is just a good place to learn, apparently.
Yeah, no, it's not. Like, if you can't do other things, it's not a good place to learn.
Honestly, I would think I'd like to try a larger country, somewhere like not the UK necessarily. They're just a bit overpowered in this game to start with. So, but yeah, somewhere like I don't know, USA, because the USA haven't got complete dominance of their central area, so they have to go to war to get it.
Yeah, the reason why Belgium's kind of considered a ideal new player thing is because your tech is already fairly secure, it's fairly easy to get into colonization, and you're small enough that you can join a larger person's market without having to entirely worry about your own market, kind of like we've done. And without going to conquest the natives, you're kind of surrounded by larger people, which is why Belgian colonization was an option. It's kind of the polar opposite to learning with Japan, where you have to worry about no one's market except yourself, and your tech is super backwards.
Cool, but what are the other mechanics? Is it just... Are we just policy and then bad war?
Policy, economics, the war, and once you're a larger enough country, you can kind of interfere with other things in the world.
Cool. Okay.
That's why their next DLC, being largely focused on the diplomacy aspect, so there's a lot more to do with that, is very important. I mean, if you don't want to play Flanker, I'm not going to force you or anything. Not going to
No,
make
I
you
said I'd give it a go. I'm doing it, but I can't see a reason to play this game for another run. I'll be honest. This will
One of the
probably be my
problems with this
first and
game
last.
Well, that's the thing with this game. It feels like, because you have a lot to do, it feels like you need to go to higher speed. And that's not very easy to do while you have multiple players.
Well, because it's unstable. It's higher speeds. Yeah. Are you logging in, Hobo? Because I can't. You're the only one I can't see so far.
Sorry, I wasn't sure if it was actually open.
Yeah.
I know you're booting everything up, but
No, I did post it was open as well, so.
yeah, it's not as war conquest heavy as say Stellaris or DK3. It's a lot more focused on number go up economy and the diplomacy side. Which
Yeah, I don't have a problem with. Yeah, I play a lot of like true economy games, but there doesn't seem to be a lot to do to influence it past build mine, build other building.
Yeah, it's kind of fighting basically trying to fight that you grow quickly enough for your population's needs. Once you get a higher standard of living, there's larger groups that want to do certain paths, like going communist or trying to push really hard for democratic, which can do some really bad diplomatic things. But for the most part, it's just the build up good, because the diplomacy part isn't as pushed out as it could be.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not as fine-tuned down to the economy thing like say manor lords or you know, there's a couple others that I know that you played that I can't remember the name of, that I wanted to use as examples. It's not as down to the gritty as that because of the scale of the countries, which works for some and fails for others.
Yeah, yeah, and everyone can't love every game. I'm not saying it's a terrible game. I just don't think it's a game that I'm really struggling to get into.
What game's that?
This.
The one that we're playing.
You have terrible taste in games.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
You're more of the first-person, fast-paced, competitive shooter action, aren't you?
I'm literally the game I'm literally doing in the background is Manor Lords.
And the game behind that is DMZ.
No, DMZ, I enjoy a whole variety of games, but the only reason we play DMZ so much is it doesn't require trying to herd cats to get a game in, and the story takes care of itself.
That's fair.
But you've got cats in that game too.
Wait, there's cats in DMZ?
Also, I would say that there's more fluff to work towards if you're a larger country, like France. Obviously has the whole Bonaparte thing. Russia and Britain have the Great Game going on in the Middle East. And many of the larger South American countries have a fair bit of flavor, especially Brazil. Just other things to shoot towards to kind of give you directions to go.
Okay.
Yeah,
Whereas me in Chile, I don't really have much to get up to because it's pretty much an isolated market.
And then there's Britain just taking the mickey. They've got 137 divisions just sat doing nothing in London while I'm losing.
Are you sure that's not because you just suck?
Shut up, you.
Oh yeah, the Americans in this timeline sided with Norway.
Daft isn't here, is he?
No.
Because his AI just proposed a trade agreement, which is Japan and Sweden. Kind of
Well, trade agreement isn't customs union, but yeah. It just means that he doesn't have to spend envoys, and I don't believe there's like tariffs.
Oh yeah, I did a lot of heavy infrastructure builds in this.
Ah, I see what he's wanting to avoid paying the 5.8k tariffs. You're gone. Oh no, it's me paying the tariffs, not like him, but I'll accept it, why not?
Yes, Flanker, obviously what Soul Signery said, what you're saying is that Belgium was terrible. I don't know, that sounds like correct to me.
It could also be terrible. I would, unless you've never played an economy game before, or I'm missing that there's just a complete lack of balance with other nations. I think I've clicked 12 things that have made a difference in the last 2 weeks. It's just number go up.
I was just poking fun at Belgium.
Why am I paying for construction goods when I've got an investment pool of 1.5 million?
Because the investment pool is paying for its own buildings. This has autonomous investing. It is the investment pool goes to that.
And they're upset because I don't have a railway.
I say, old chap, I think those raiders mean to do us harm.
Hey, Grin. I don't know whether I could agree or disagree with that, Soul, because I've never played Hearts of Iron. I don't really have a view there.
Yeah, it's kind of Hearts, at the very least, early game Hearts of Iron. By early game, I mean like early in its development Hearts of Iron. Nowadays, Hearts of Iron has things for 75% of the countries in the world. And I see that Norway is now free. But it doesn't have as high of a standard of living as Russ. It also, I think this game does partially suffer from them not making wanting it to not be too hefty of a war game, so the AI isn't quite as aggressive as it is in other Paradox games. Whereas, on the flip side of that, due to the way the mechanics work, Russia could intervene between the United States and Mexico, which feels a little bit far away, but I'm sure that's probably played a part as to why the AI isn't as active. See, especially when they hadn't like solidified it early game or early in its release, it was maddening sometimes. Like, oh, I want to annex a tiny micronation over in Indonesia as the Dutch East Indies. And then Prussia gets involved. Why Prussia? Because no one else wanted to. But someone had to. The Victoria 3 is more story of the era rather than a war game. Yeah. Like, they openly don't want it to be a war game.
That's fair. I just, like, let's say, I think it just,
Yeah, I
not for me. It's,
If you ever get too tired of sitting here listening to me ramble for 2 hours, I'd understand. I'm not going to force you to waste your time after all.
I can sit and do other things while I'm playing this because there's literally nothing fit to do. I've got a building queue set up. I'm good. I'm working on graphics for tomorrow's Manor stream.
I'm just doing some work in the background.
Right?
And I just clicked on my Outlook.
I think if I ever did Belgium, it'd be like trying to colonize over by Benin, trying to get the natives on my side as tributaries and proper war, and trying to snipe the Netherlands with the help of the French or something. They'll probably pull the Prussians in, it'll be a big war. It's like one of those things where it can work, and then on the flip side, I'd try and fight the Netherlands, and then the French would fight me, and then, well, I guess I need to either reload or just not do it. And then I'm stalled out. Had multiple attempts at achievements do exactly that.
Come on. I can type good.
Grim Barbinger.
I know.
Oh, they must have a nice
Panzer
selection.
Campaigns, Market Garden, 44 gold.
They must have a nice selection of alcohol at the Barbinger.
Or hair cutting materials. How do I see how many troops Holland has? So at least I can do something interesting.
You click on their country and then click on their
Click on his flag.
Yeah.
Flag, thank you.
58.
Plus 7. So 65 plus 42 flotillas.
Yeah, the ships aren't really going to matter too much. They might damage any trade you have, but if you win on land, you win.
Wow, Holland's got a lot of turmoil.
Has had for a while. Yeah, I have a grand total of 10. I don't think I'm going to be winning anything.
I've got 35 I can throw in.
Yeah, you
Although
just have to.
We're only in a customs union though, so I think we need to figure out a.
If you have an interest in the region that he's fighting in, you could side with the war, because the way war works in this.
Yeah,
Anyone
I've got,
who
an
anyone
interest
who
in-
has an interest in a place, they can intervene in any wars there, regardless of their diplomacy with the people there.
So I'm going to need to build a barracks. No, I can't expand barracks in Flanders or Wallonia.
Hover
Ah,
over
that-
and it'll tell you why.
You probably have.
It's at
not
maximum
perfect-
size, which is +5 from National Militia.
Yeah.
So you need to change your law.
Yay. National Militias may be the best. Why is that?
It does allow you to get a lot of conscripts, but conscripts take time to pick up.
How
Whereas,
can I see how many conscripts I'd be?
if
In your
you,
information on your country.
well, on your country, that's how many you have enabled. If you go to the army
Yep.
itself, there should be a section to add more conscripts, and then when you click on that, you can see how many you can get.
Doesn't actually show me anything there. It just... I'm assuming it's 20, because that's the maximum I can have in that group anyway. And it says raise 0 conscripts.
The little plus sign next to the conscript number of 0 will show you where you can add them. Yeah, so you can get 100 plus conscripts because
Okay.
of that. Militia.
the AI is actually building something helpful.
So far, mine is building industry that we need, that the market needs, and bananas. Which is a luxury good, so I suppose there's never enough luxury. Britain said, screw you, you lost your independence privileges to Canada. AI likes to do weird things like that.
Only the Swedish market. Right.
Yeah, welcome to our market. I'm glad that you can contribute. You are contributing, right? It'd be real bad if you weren't contributing.
I'm producing more iron.
We are actively exporting iron to Japan and China, so more iron is more better.
Have we got steel in the market? Steel tools, better productivity for hand tools.
Oh, actually, I'm not producing any steel, so I must be thinking of our other game.
One job. One job.
Yep.
No, you do have steel. You're not producing enough, but you have got steel.
Someone in the market. Oh, it'll be Flanker that does, because he makes trains too.
Wallonia and Flanders.
Yep, that's Flanker. Making all the steel.
How can I see if Holland has any allies?
His diplomacy section.
Okay, how do I see that?
The diplomacy tab of the way that you originally went to go see his battalions.
So click on his country, click on his flag, and then diplomacy tab along the top.
Cool, thank you.
He doesn't. No, that's you I'm looking at.
Yeah, the only other thing he has is Little Luxembourg, which is a whole 3.
But just because he doesn't have any allies doesn't mean people won't intervene in the diplomatic play. That's what happened to me with Norway and America. Like the Netherlands might offer something to bribe someone to help them. At which point you'll have the option to keep on pushing on, or back down, or you could bribe someone yourself.
Wow, who wants the tobacco?
In our market? Or
Yeah.
tobacco's a luxury good, so
That's what I'm
Look
saying.
at
I'm
every-
trying to. Can't see it in the filter there. No, tobacco. It's not really that expensive.
So should I mobilise before I declare war or after?
you can't mobilize before a war, so
Cool. And how do I declare? I may as well do something.
Diplomacy thing along the bottom.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Looking at it, I'm not entirely sure how to declare war myself.
I'm working on it, doing my best to try and work it out.
Oh, the diplomatic button in the very bottom, middle flanker of your screen, bottom right.
Flanker also found it. In,
And then diplomatic demands, and then there's conquer state.
No, I'll diplomatic demands, conquer state.
and you can add more once the war started up to a certain amount.
Wow, if you lose this, you're going to lose both your mainland Europe territories.
No, I think at this point Flanker might want that.
How are they up to 98 battalions and you're down to 8?
That
It's probably already joined.
that includes the Dutch East Indies, which has 37.
Ah.
I don't know if the Dutch East Indies will sail all the way over here.
I love the fact that one of my diplomatic demands is the Grand Duchy of Finland to liberate them from Russia. That would go badly.
Now the other thing, once you mobilize your army, Flanker, make sure you click raise conscripts on it, otherwise they won't.
I've already done that as well.
Screen just a bit behind.
think I've offered to join with you, Flanker. You may need to accept it though. Ah, yeah, top right corner.
Now if you just press the check mark, you automatically go in. Like, no, no question. I'm going to help you whether you like it or not.
How do I actually see where my conscripts are or where my army is?
On the map itself, you should see your army, and there should be a way to move it to two different fronts. There should be a button on that thing you were just on to actually move your army
Right.
to
So
the fronts with that script. Yep.
it's not yet showing. It's showing you've got 7 conscripts raised out of.
Conscripts, once you press the raise conscript button, progressively raise up over time up to however many you've added. It's basically
Right.
taking people from the fields and factories and giving them guns.
Cool. So I'm going to be waiting a while then before I should move.
Yes, the best option would be to put them on the front and then tell your generals on the top of the screen you're looking at right now to be in to defend the front.
I'm raising my 0 conscripts. Be afraid.
There's a little circle with a red flag on the generals that is advance or defend front. And on the bottom of that same screen there's a little arrow, and that is the move them to a front button.
Right, but it's not worth moving my guys to the front with just my skirmish infantry raised, right? I should be waiting till everyone's...
You will still need to meet them on the front, otherwise they'll just start advancing with no army
Yeah,
contest.
Flanker, I'm on your front as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so deploy to the Wallonia-Holland front?
Yep. And then they'll sit there and defend against any attacks that the Dutch do. I will try and take out little Luxembourg. If you want, Flanker, you can, before the war ticks over too far, you can also add more demands.
How do I do that?
I'm pausing right here just because war's about to tick over. On the war thing on the right, little picking circle with the two hands. You click on that.
This one. Escalation.
Yes, the escalation. There should be a button in there to add war gold, and then you can add conquering up more states.
Cool.
Or have them pay you money, which I think is 10% of their income. So like if you wanted to transfer or conquer Luxembourg or take another state from the Dutch, you still could.
Let me know when we unpause. I need to change some of my production methods.
Yeah, I just wanted to. I paused it just because the war was
Yeah,
about
yeah,
to go
yeah,
into
I
the
know,
phase
that's
where he
cool.
couldn't. And
What's not cool though is my battalions are at half manpower because I got wrecked in that other war and they've not had time to recover, so I need to up my training.
you can unpause whenever you want, Flanker, once you're done over there.
Cool.
Just gonna kick the Dutch off the mainland. They do still have colonies, but they're gonna be exiled to the colonies.
Off with you.
My army is sitting on Luxembourg, which, considering Luxembourg has 3 units, I feel like I'll stop them relatively quick, and then my army will shift over to the primary front.
Yeah, it says we're fully mobilized.
That's just all of the troops.
Oh yeah, that's just okay. Yeah, it's still number still goes up for conscripts.
Yep. That's just all of the current standing army is fully mobilized, and it adds more people in. Like, it's good, but as you can see, the conscripts are definitely not going to be ready by the time the war starts. That's the benefit of standing army.
I can't join you in your diplomatic play. Much sad.
It's okay, I think we have it here. Between the Swedes and the growing Belgian army. Pulled in from the factories.
I wish you good luck. I'm going to stay in Chile and stay warm.
Hobo, are you Portugal?
Yes. Switzerland started a humiliation play against the Dutch. Fire rubbing salt in the wound.
Night, Einstein.
Good night, Einstein. Thankfully, even with the added war goals, it doesn't appear like anyone else joined the war, so it should be okay.
Yeah, I think we'll be able to grind them down. The disadvantage is slowly but surely turning in our favour.
At least part of that's got to be the number of conscripts that are being raised. We've got another 100 to go.
100?
Yeah.
Oh, United States bankrolling me. That's kind.
Fire's not messing about.
Oh yeah. Humiliate them and conquer Dutch Guyana. Guyana's really good, actually. It is, as old. Goes to French.
You're really crippling them by banning slavery.
Banning slavery and also exiling them to places where they want to live in place. Like, you're free, please let us.
My general is thinking they got lost in the
my war goals are everywhere but the capital.
Oh, you didn't take the capital. I thought you were kicking them off of the...
Nope. No, I didn't take the capital. I thought that was more likely to get more people involved.
Methinks Fire wants a coastal land.
I think Fire does want coastal lands.
The only problem is the only...
We're
option-
losing on the Wallonia-Holland front.
That particular fight is the Swedish army on the offense, so you're not actually going to lose anything. Basically, the armies shift between who's on the offense and the defense, and pretty straightforward that if you're on the offense, you win, you take land. If you're on the defense, you win, you get land back.
I don't understand this. I've got a journal entry for the atmospheric pump, and apparently every building I have, I switched over to it, but for some reason the game's not registering it. So the development tab is
Are they profitable and fully employed?
well, I can't fully employ these places.
Well, I'm pretty sure one of the requirements is that they have to be fully employed or 75%.
Yeah, 75%.
Yeah, the lead mines
Right, so it says we'll complete if more than 75% of eligible buildings, currently 0%, have these contracts. All of the cash reserves 25%, and the workforce occupancy is greater than 75. Bank no longer being bankrolled by
The AI likes to bankroll you for all of like 2 minutes.
Yeah, I had that playing with Rust the other day. It's just like getting bankrolled, not being bankrolled. Being bankrolled, no.
My question is, how is the Swiss going to connect their market to Holland? So, France's job, are you in? Oh, you're in the French market, so yeah, I guess that. They backed down on the primary goal, which was humiliation.
Yeah, poor Fire's not going to get to have a war.
Yeah, that's why. That's the main reason for adding things to the primary war goal, is that if they back down, they have to give them. But adding it to primary could also drag it.
The convoys thing is super annoying.
Yeah, the reading the convoys and the connectivity of the market is slightly problematic. It's mostly actually harming people who are in the market and not speaking.
Navy to earn their keep.
Knowing you, Russ, they'll die trying.
Against their
Oh. What's happened to fire? We'll find out. Where's fire?
I'm guessing
Oh.
she's just upset that she doesn't get to go to war.
Yeah, fire did a humiliation war against the Dutch, and then also added the conquest of Holland region. But they backed down from the play, and since the addition of the Holland region wasn't part of the primary, fire didn't get it.
Oh dear, is that why fire was upset?
Fire desperately wanted more.
Just attack farmer.
Twitch blocked by a stupid French in it.
Parma has a
Obviously,
trade.
I'm
Parma has a trade agreement with Austria, so it's very likely that Austria would come in and fire fought.
It's because they did want the hand.
chaps, this war it doesn't go so well.
No, we are losing badly.
Actually, no. You know what? I blame Russ. He egged you on.
No, I blame Flanker for going to war so soon. My division is still back.
I blame Russ for having his divisions be on offense. Therefore, to continue to
Is
drain
that
the
a thing? I
power.
didn't realise you could change.
Yes. You change them on the general itself.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Tell them to stay on the defense.
That probably would have helped a bit.
Create your manpower, not the battlefield.
Oh,
The good news is Sweden isn't under threat.
Well, that journal entry's been removed because we just completed the water boiler.
Yeah, you can say something better.
One good thing about it, that single engine pump gives me more gold.
hey, FX Tyre, how are you?
Why did my population drop? I went from 1.12 million to 968,000.
Yep. Well, I'm not that upset, to be honest.
You sound devastated.
Hmm.
It gives Flanker an excuse to not play
That's good.
Yeah.
To be fair, your war weariness on both sides is roughly the same.
Yeah, but we're losing every battle.
Yeah, like Belgium
Yeah,
would have been rolled over at this
Between
Without
the
no
Swedish...
Naval invasion.
point. Pardon?
Can you do a naval invasion into a weaker area?
All my forces are on the front line already, and they've got about 10 men between them.
Yeah, and the Dutch Navy would stop him from any naval invasion he tried.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. I sent out my navy, didn't I? Is it dead yet?
No, it didn't go to the right note, so it's just been sitting there.
Well, I figured with this one being red, they're coming for me now anyway. Rip in peace.
You should come to Chile. We have no problems.
You
Well,
also
there might
have no
be-
work.
Might be a problem in the market once all of the Belgian industry is deleted.
We are accepting immigrants.
That's good because Flanker's going to need a place to hide in exile.
I thought the popular spot for that was Argentina.
That's for the Nazis.
Oh. They just piece you out, Russ.
Apparently.
That.
It just pops up saying the following war goals were enforced on Sweden, and then there's nothing there.
Well,
My conscripts are still not raised. I've got 104 remaining.
I wonder if they're struggling to raise because of the lands being conquered. I don't normally use conscripts. Well, at least we can hope that there is more stuff to do 2 years down the line. Here's a development.
Yeah, I know it's not meant to be a war simulator, but the battles are massively unsatisfying, as in there's not really any explanation of how you can improve your chances. Because I did do things like go into my military first. For mobilization, they're using rail, which is meant to improve the speed. I increased their supplies. It doesn't really give you any sort of explanation. Okay.
But they're very adamant about using this type of war system because they know if they use a more traditional paradox-like one, people will turn it into a war game, and they don't want to do that.
Yeah, that's fair enough. It's just that in my personal opinion, and it's not a very good economy simulator either. So, what is it trying to be?
It is a number go up country scale economy simulator. It's not really as fine-tuned as something like Manor Lords, where you control it building by building.
Well, except that you do control it building by building with the stupid building progress, and you can only build one building as a nation overall at a time.
That is related to your size. Like the French can build like 10, 15 buildings at a time. They focus on that and not army. It's all related to the amount of money you have. So I get it with the smaller nation. But yeah, there's a very good handful of complaints, both on the economic side not being as thorough as its predecessor. Likewise, they're insisting on this type of war not being as thorough and clear as before.
No, I get it, and it's like I think there's going to be complaints about Manlords when it comes out. Why can't we have bigger maps, and why can't I map paint, and why can't I multiplay, and why can't I total war? Not every game needs to do all of the things in the same way, so I think this is probably a great game for some people. I'm just bored to tears.
Yeah, for some people. I just don't know
Yeah,
if
it's just...
enough people in terms of how they're developing it.
Which they may well have. Like, everyone likes different things, right?
Yeah.
So, the obvious question is do we call it? Because Flanker's not having fun. We're basically out anyway.
Yeah,
I'll be out in a few minutes anyway, so...
Flanker's dead and now.
There we go. Cool. I game over.
Well, Flanker united the Dutch. And that was
At least you gave the game a go.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want me to try anything else, I'm happy to, but it's... Like, I literally can't find a thing to be interesting to keep going. And, again, not saying it's a bad game, just not a game for me. Because the economy is there is literally nothing to do other than just make number go up as Belgium. So
Yep. And to be fair, it's like that for everyone. And if making line go up isn't fun for you, then yeah, you're not going to enjoy the game.
Yeah, like there's more fluff in between for the more established games, but it is still established countries. But it is.
hey,
still...
you guys can carry on. Sorry, I'm happy to observe. I'm not going to be finding myself a new nation to do anything with because there is.
I already left.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a good excuse.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you for the games, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Good night.
I'll find something really stupid in the future to recommend you on, so that way you can be bored to tears in an entirely different game.
I will happily play anything, but I've got asked for 6 months to play Victoria 3. I've played it, and it is just not the one for me. So
Yeah, but that's absolutely fair.
yeah. Oh yeah. Like I say, it's not a massive complaint. I'm not saying it's all terrible. I'm just saying it's just I've literally nearly fallen asleep 2 weeks in a row.
And I can understand your complaints, especially on like when combining it with 1 to 2 speed on a game that favors faster construction in larger countries and a lot of other things. Even then, still just number go up.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for the games, guys. I'll open up the slot on this time, so from 9 till 11 next week for people to suggest a different multiplayer game we can play. I will not be doing Hearts of Iron though, because if it is even vaguely like this, I'm just not interested.
Oh no, Hearts of Iron is about as far from this as you can go. The only thing is you might be bored the first session because a lot of the shtick of it is war building up for the first 3 years, and then constant war frontline systems that are much more thorough than this one, down to the actual tiles for the rest of the game. So playing it on 1 to 2 speed, it would just be a lot of pressing buttons to build up, but that is it's a lot. Hearts of Iron is a lot more concise. I just genuinely don't know if you'd want to play Hearts of Iron due to your sponsors.
Yeah. Well,
Which I would entirely understand if they don't want you to play a game where you're siding with funny mustache man.
yeah, and like honestly, I've never been grabbed by Hearts of Iron. I own the game, but I think I would personally rather play CK3 than any of the above. I don't want another necessarily another CK3 game. I know After the End has been set up now, but
Has it?
I mean, we could set up After the End for this slot.
if we've got enough players, sure. But I think I'd like to find something that is more interesting than just number go up, because like a late night number go up is just not fun it's not fun watching either. So yeah, I mean, fair play to everyone that loves the game. I'm happy for you. This one's just not for me personally, and I don't think I'll be doing it again.
Yeah, that's fine.
So
And like I said, Hearts of Iron would be entirely up to how you feel about, or how your sponsors would feel, because it is a lot more war associated, like constant war against multiple fronts.
I think, to be honest, I just can't find the motive. It's nothing to do with sponsors. I just like, no one has made a compelling case to me for Hearts of Iron's gameplay, and that's not, again, different, strokes for different folks.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just isn't particularly interesting to me, and I think that I can only really play one game at a time that's not particularly interesting to me. And playing it late night on a Sunday is probably not the time and place to do it. So, but yeah, open to other suggestions. But I don't CK3 Beyond the End, if people were desperate to give that a go, I'm happy to give it a try. But given that we've got 5 players for this at this time, maybe we do something more lightweight like Kingdoms Reborn, or I'm open to suggestions, but it's just I can't.
Kingdoms Reborn or Warzone or something like that.
No, Warzone is is literally a pickup game. I have no interest in playing that on a scheduled basis either, because it already gets picked up late in the evening, fairly regularly. So it's like Warzone is. I think people misunderstand why I play Battle Royales. Battle Royales, DMZ, Warzone, PUBG, those games are easy to get together. I'm quite happy that given enough rounds with like playing solo, I can play solo in a team's game and still have some fun. But if we only really need to get together between 3 and 4 people, and it's not that hard. And in a battle royale, the stories unfold as part of what you're doing. You're doing silly things. You're trying to complete other missions. It's not that like Warzone is my favorite game in the world. It's just an easy pickup for stream. And if I was wanting to be really competitive at Warzone, I wouldn't be playing with other people. And you can see from all of my history playing Warzone, I play with everyone for the community, which is the fun bit. Because if you're going to demonstrate how good you are at an FPS, you need to not be playing with others, or you need to be playing with others that have either the same skill level as you, or have the same tactical style as you. I'm not claiming to be super high skilled, but I have a particular tactical approach generally. So I tend to chill with Warzone as a silly pickup that I can have a bit of fun with the community while we play some games, not because I'm like, yeah, FPS, that's what I'm missing in my life. We could give but I'm open to playing other games. I think that 2 Paradox games is rough, like with an hour's break between them, because historically we've seen lots of people join for when we say we'll do multiple Paradox games, and then lots of people just not play them after a week or 2. And we've seen 2 players drop off in Victoria for good reasons. Again, not a complaint, just a fact of life. I think we've got, I say that, is Millennia the Civ-alike?
Yes.
Yeah.
If we've got enough people, we could potentially give that a go.
Yeah, I don't really know how people felt about Millennia. Like a lot of people were like, "Yeah, that looks really good," and then it came out, and then I heard absolutely nothing after that.
The problem is that we are living in such a good time for games right now. Like Old World's just about to get another DLC. Manor Lords is just about to come out. Norland is Norland out yet? Or is that under embargo still? Like there are so many like interesting games coming out at the same time. Bellwright in 2 days. Yeah, like there's so many games. I am not entirely sure, and I mean this like sincerely. I don't know what Millennia is meant to add to a crowded space, other than be an answer to Civ. And due to nothing but personal tastes, Old World is my answer to Civ, because the things I hate about Civ, I love about Old World, because it's over a very short period of time, and the tech and the units feel like they make a difference. Whereas I'm not as much a fan of Civ's approach, which again is personal taste, not saying Civ is a bad game. So I'm not sure what the Millennia approach is to try and counter that, but I have a copy. I was kind of given a copy by Physics. So I'm happy to give that a go. Have to give Bellwright a go. The only thing with Bellwright is that, have they got servers yet? But that's due to be released in a couple of days, April 23rd.
What is Bellwright? Sorry, I have no idea what that is.
It's another crafting open world survival game.
Oh right, so like Valheim, like
It certainly the bump that I've got through looks like. Are there more Kingdom Come type? Oh, like Kingdom
Yeah.
Come plus Medieval Dynasty. It has a story.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's fair. The thing is, for me at the moment, I'm trying not to buy like hundreds of games.
Yep.
So I've burnt out wanting to play alphas because for me, like, it's Baldur's Gate 3. I played the first chapter so much that I could speed run the whole thing. But when it fully released and you have access to everything, unless I was playing it with someone, I just was not interested in playing it. That's why I've been asking Placebo if he would like to pick it up with me.
Yeah, and there are so many existing games. I don't want to just hop on to whatever's newest. And I think the exception to that for me is Manor Lords is really quite nice. And I can see some replayability the same way that I love Father's Frontier. But there are literally so many game releases this year that look really good. It's going to be hard.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like there's so many games of like the city builder, so many games of the crafting survival that it's really difficult to try and even find the want to play all of them. Never mind the time to play all of them.
Yeah, my want to play games on my own is here and there. I'd much rather pick up a game with you lot.
Yeah, same. And I need to play some more single player games during the day because, like, being completely frank, if I don't, my viewer numbers plummet, and then I'm not actually able to get access to the new games. There is a level of which I need to get on viewership that, like, is easy enough to achieve. I just need to play single player games every now and again. But yeah, there's Clan Folk. That's another one that's on my list.
Yeah, that's another an older.
Big Ambitions. Yep. I haven't forgotten. I think I'm going to complete Supermarket Sim first before I play Big Ambitions.
Clan Folk is one of those games that, again, one of those that came out. It was like really popular for like the week, and then you hear next to nothing about it.
But I think that is just because
so many other games similar.
Yeah, exactly that. There's been, like, in previous years, a game like Clan Folk or a game like Pal World or Helldivers, which is still holding up its great popularity, would be the game of the year. And we've had all of those in the last 3 months.
Yeah.
Helldivers 2 community, like, as a whole, they managed to kill 2 billion bugs to push them back in a day or something like that.
Yeah. And I think that, like, Helldivers have done something really interesting with it being a managed overall war for everyone, and it's also co-op. And you can play with, you can play with 4 of your friends, and it's PvE, not PvP. So I think they've done a huge amount right. I think it's a great game, but there's just so many really quite good games out there at the moment that the news cycle seems to be moving faster than the games are. And that's where I think Helldivers 2 is really clever, is because it's a managed war. They're putting out new stuff all the time. That new stuff is still the core gameplay mechanics. But the robots are advancing on this side, the aliens are advancing on this side, and you've heard when playing with randoms off on PvP in Helldivers. There are arseholes in every game. I think in general, Helldivers has been pretty successful at getting around.
And for reference on Clan Folk, it went on to Steam July 14th, 2022. You just had so many games of that similar genre come out so relatively frequently that it's still difficult to keep up.
Yeah, truly.
I only did like 1, maybe 2 runs of that game that I talked about, Songs of Six, and I look at it a year later, and there's like a dozen different mechanics that I didn't even know they added because he's just still quietly working on it. And I feel like that'd probably be the same if I picked up Clan Folk again. The same if I picked up any of the other games similar to it that aren't off the top of my head.
Yeah, I think there's the problem is that when there are so many games releasing, you don't just have to be good, which there have been a lot of good games where I genuinely believe we're in a golden age of gaming. We've probably got 6 months to a year left on it. But you have to have something really outstanding. Helldivers 2 has an outstanding mechanic. Power World it was delivering exactly what people wanted Nintendo to deliver. And there was just this enormous latent market there that they were close enough on, but not exactly the same. And then you've seen games like Manor Lords that really combining multiple genres. And that hasn't come from nowhere. That's been a 7-year passion project for a guy called Greg. Like, it is not a big dev team that's running that. And it's built exceptionally well. And he's going to probably have a really rough few weeks ahead of them. Because the amount of people he's been playtesting it with, I think 130 people prior to the press keys going out. But even still, there's going to be so many people that are going to won't read his blog post, will buy it and then go, oh, there's only one map. Well, there's so many other things you can do. Farthest Frontier is just an excellent city builder, which you can use as just a city builder, or you can make it quite an aggressive challenge, or you can just use it as a chill out game. Tavern Keeper, exceptional game, great gameplay. You're seeing it's a really chilled out, a really chilled out game that kind of took something, although it has a similar aesthetic to some other games, and made it a really interesting to watch and play game. So, 7 Days to Die is coming out, so it's fire. Yeah, and I think, isn't V Rising got a new big update this week, next week? There's just so much, and also with so many big companies trying to keep their existing game stack going. 10 Days to 1.0, and the Castlevania DLC. That's what I was thinking of. Thank you, Fire. So just releasing a really pretty good game is probably not enough to keep everyone's attention. But the great news is there's been games in virtually every genre. Like city building was a dead genre after SimCity. City Skylines came, filled that void. City Skylines 2's had a bit of a rough start, but there are very senior people saying very positive things about their approach to going forwards. But now there's so many city builders and so many that have come from different places with slightly different takes. I'm super excited for the future, but there are just so many games.
What's even more notable is, I know I'm cycling back a little bit, but I was actually curious because I never looked at the numbers, that the Songs of Six game had about an average of about 200 players, and then you get some random larger content creator making a video about your game, and today it's at still current highest peak of 3,000.
Oh, that's awesome.
And he's been making that game for years. Like, if I look at it, it was put on Steam in 2020. So, going from about 200 to 3,000 4 years down the line, that's not something you can really prepare for. And I'm sure there's probably going to be something like that for Manor Lords and Clan Folk and all these other ones.
Manor Lords has one developer, a great publisher behind them in Hooded Horse, and 2.5 million wish lists. They're it's about to be a rough few weeks, because even if everyone's super positive and everyone loves everything they're doing, the additional pressure, the great news is I think it's going to sell great. I'm not allowed to give a official Gaming Buzz review or personal review of it until the embargo's out, but I'm really enjoying it so far, and I think it deserves all the success it looks like it's going to get. It's a passion project that's been done exceptionally well. But it's also a game that one dude has worked on for 7 years. There are so many systems that aren't where he wants them to be yet. There are so many extra things that people are going to ask for. And I think the risk is the Power World problem, right? Everyone went out the gates of Power World like, this is the best game in the world. Everyone's playing it. Well, why haven't the devs put out 50 more things? Well, because the dev team is like 20 guys. They don't have they didn't have 200 people working on additional content side by side to have some DLC ready or some X things ready. And most of those 20 guys' time is going to be dealing with the bugs that no one has discovered until they discovered them. Which people will complain bitterly about the problem, then not acknowledge when it's been solved. And then expect new content as well as solving problems, and people can only do one thing at a time.
No, I'm quite happy personally with it. At least I know there's a lot of dumb people.
Yeah, and I think
I mean, I can also feel what the guy for making Mandalore is going to be, because the Songs of Six guy that I've had loose tabs on for a couple years now, the same thing. He's one guy, a passion project, and his game blew up because of a single content creator to thousands of people. So I imagine he's struggling a little bit too. Just trying to see what all these new people actually want out of his game.
yeah, and I think he's done a really smart thing. He's put a blog post out there which has been picked up by quite a few media outlets that's on Steam to say, look, here are the things this game is not. And I'm not going to give you a roadmap because I have no idea how this is going to go. So I won't put a roadmap out until it's been out for a little bit. But you can see from the concept art and stuff, and from some of the things that are almost existing in the game, there's like crossbows, there are cut bricks, and if you look at the artwork for Manor Lords, there's like fully built stone brick castles. So I have a feeling there's going to be much more added in terms of the technology chains, let you build bigger and bigger, which is kind of what Farthest Frontier has done over time. It's added additional units, added additional ways to play. And those two games are, I think, both games that are different enough from each other that will definitely hold people's interest for different reasons, although they're both a medieval city builder. Manor Lords is about kind of, you can build it as just a city builder, but be building interconnected villages, or a PvE game, whereas Farthest Frontier is building a massive city that you have to deal with in scale. And that's been super interesting to see the guys at Crate Entertainment do things with that. You've also got like Kingdoms Reborn, which has had some more updates recently.
Yeah, they Russ has been hosting a Saturday game, and there's quite a few. Well, there's a new faction, the Aztecs, and there is advanced buildings that are like 20% better than the regular buildings, but you need to build some of the regular buildings first, so it's kind of an investment, and they don't combine the combos in that game with regular and advanced buildings, so it's they've been working on trying to add more stuff for people to decide, so the game isn't as linear, which is good.
Just going to ask, Flanker, do you think you're gaming anything else tonight, or are you done?
I think I'm done. I think because none of my gear is working at the moment, like, because when Golf Your Friends crashed, it took Vic 3 with it and my graphics drivers. So I think I need to reboot my PC properly and update a couple of things to solve that. So
That's perfectly fine, mate. I just thought I'd ask the question.
And I know Fire mentioned it like 10 minutes ago, but I'd also want to mention that 7 Days to Die, after its a little bit rocky development, still a very good game. Going to 1.0 soon too, so that'll be interesting to see where they go with that.
I used
Yeah.
to play quite heavily with a few friends, and the problem is like one just wanted to dig a hole to get all the ore and such, and it's like, yeah, okay, that's what you want to do. Another wanted to always go and explore. No one wanted to build the base. It's just like quickly fell out of love playing with the game with those people.
I think that's one of the problems in general with like survival games and groups is that, and a struggle for streamers to play them is you either focus on one to the exclusion of all else, and people will get very unhappy when you're not on every day, or you allow people to you run servers for loads of them, which we've done. We've taken both approaches before, and if you run servers for lots of them, then people that love that game get in, but then go off and play their single player because someone else wasn't playing it quite as they wanted to. And if you play just the one game, then it becomes, you're likely to get burnt out on as a content creator pretty quickly, because it's more of survival games become an obligation really fast. Like, oh, I've got to play this for 2 hours tonight because otherwise our base won't do a thing.
Yeah, I mean, like Valheim, saying to friends like, yeah, I just want to do a fresh run. We aim to be on at the same time, and I log in one day, all of a sudden we've got iron tech, and I'm like, well, last time I was here, we've only just started. So found out my friend logged onto his other server on Valheim, brought a load of stuff across. Oh, I thought it would be easier. It's just like, that's not the point.
Yeah, you've just completely removed all of the growth, because gamers will take the fun out of their own games given half a chance. Like managing the fun out of it, because I'll optimize to the nth degree and then be like, oh, well, I've got everything unlocked. I don't want to play it anymore. It's easy. You're like, what? But you did that. You bought in for another server. You did the other thing. Yeah, it's.
I think I'm gonna let you be, and I'll leave you to it, Flanker. Hope you have a good sleep if you manage to get some. If not, you do you.
I suppose since I forgot that it's technically on sale right now, I'll bring it up the 6th time in this conversation. Hey Flanker, you want to do more single player stuff? I'd recommend this small one-man team game after you do Manor Lords called Songs of Six. I forgot it was on sale. That's just, hey, it's on sale if you want to add it to your list of single player games. I've played it. Jam's played it. Jam really likes it too. I'm leaning on him as well as a recommendation, and if you don't, oh well. But I will leave you now so you can actually sleep.
I will give it a follow and see. I'm not making any promises.
Yeah, it's just, here's something to add to your mountain. Have fun.
Yeah, that's the thing, is I could genuinely not play anything but single player games at the moment and still yes. Still have no time.
But you have a nice evening, Sir Flanker. I shall pester you at the very least on Wednesday.
Sounds good. Right. I will drop out of voice then. Thank you very much for the games, bud. Right, for those watching the stream on Twitch, thank you so much for hanging out. Apologies if you were hoping I would really love Victoria 3. It's just not for me, guys. I don't know what to tell you. But if you're enjoying it, I'd love to see some more community games going the same way we have for other things I don't play personally, but the community that have over on the Discord. We're going to go and raid the one and only CD at the moment. I can't do my normal outro because Go With Your Friends and Victoria 3 both crashed at the same time. Yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Don't forget to check out the coverage of all the new games coming out at gaming.buzz. And we'll be back tomorrow with some Murder Monday. We may get some daytime stream in as well. But I hope you have a wonderful day. And let's go raiding the fantastic CD if you're over on Twitch, where we're going to go to twitch.tv/CD. Awesome streamer. I'm sure you're going to love her content. A lot of you are already familiar with her. And yeah, let's go and spend some time over there. And please drop her a follow. Bye-bye for now.